setting it up. Do I get proceeds from your YouTube channel when you become a huge like multi-million subscriber streamer because I helped you technically start? Is that what happens? Do I get 10%?
Yes, sir. You will.
Oh, perfect. All right, we got it on video. It's a contract.
Yeah,
When
I will find all 7 Dragon Balls for you, so that way I can wish for the 1,000,000 subscribers.
There you go. Hey, listen. Don't think I won't hold you to it. When you've got 1,000,000 subscribers, I'll be like, I've got a video contract, man. 10% is mine.
Yeah, those Dragon Balls are mine.
Oh yeah, that'd be perfect.
All right, so I guess I'll start with who is your favorite character to voice?
I get we get as voice actors, we get a lot of the same questions over and over again. And I always try to look and think like, is there some other answer I would give? But it always ends up being, it's like, no, nothing's changed. It's still my favorite character, and it's Hiei. But Android 17 is also in there too, because Android 17 has been so good to me. The DBZ franchise I've been doing him for 20 years now. So I can't leave him out of the favorites category. But Hiei, the first time I went to a convention, it was for during the height of Yu Yu Hakusho's popularity. And I didn't know I was going to be signing autographs. I thought I was going to be going to the convention to, pass out flyers, because actors work at conventions a lot. They're hired by other companies to pass out their literature. Just like actors are hired at anime conventions, like cosplayers will be hired to be in a booth. So I was, I thought I was going there to pass out flyers for Yu Yu Hakusho. I didn't realize I was going to be signing autographs. So I sat down and signed autographs for 4 hours, and I was like, I really don't understand what's happening, because I'd never had a line of people, asking, crying or screaming or whatever they do. I was a little confused.
Wow. I'd have to say my favorite, and you probably already know who it is Pilaf.
Oh, yeah, Emperor Pilaf. He's one of my favorite. I'll say this. Of the characters that I am still currently voicing, Kibito, Android 17, Emperor Pilaf, any of the other ones, the Kurogiri, Emperor Pilaf is definitely the most fun to record. Like he's probably, I probably laugh more with Raleigh in the booth when recording Emperor Pilaf than we do when recording Android 17 or Kibito. That's for sure.
Yeah, you probably seen in my YouTube review that I did of Dragon Ball, The Hunt for the Dragon Balls arc. I'm like, Pilaf's the best character, hands down.
That's true. It's true. He is. He really is. He's a lot of fun. He gets to be, terribly subservient and megalomaniacally. Ooh, that's a fun word to say. Megalomaniacally, sort of overwhelming to his minions. He runs the spectrum for sure.
I like that he could act threatening and then act like a little kid at the same time.
Yes, exactly. I'm going to destroy you.
That's my Dragon Ball.
That's pretty good.
I've almost got it down.
Yeah. You're there. You're in the zone. You're in the Pilaf zone.
There was a question I was always wondering about Dragon Ball Kai. Why were so many voice actors replaced? Do you know?
I have no idea. I don't. It's funny because it's such a big industry now, but back then, even with Kai, it wasn't the huge industry that it is now. So everybody, tries to think that there's a lot of sort of motivation behind stuff. A lot of it's just like, I don't know, people move, people stop working, people like to work with other people. I mean, that's just the industry. People get to choose who they work with.
I think the biggest replacement I noticed anyway was when Gohan was replaced.
Right. Yeah. A lot of people noticed that.
I love Colleen as an actress, but bless her, I didn't like her as Gohan.
Yeah, and it's funny because once you get that first impression of somebody's voice and then it changes, they do pretty good with the sort of like replacing of Kermit's voice or any of the sort of Muppets voice or any of the sort of like iconic Daffy Duck, Bugs Bunny. You know, they do good finding good voice matches. But even to this day, with those really good voice matches, I hear today's Bugs Bunny and I'm like, it's good, but it's not Bugs Bunny. You know what I mean? Because Bugs Bunny's the one that I heard, the original, right?
Yeah, it's not Mel Blanc. So,
No, it's not Mel Blanc.
do you have a least favorite character that you don't like voicing?
You know, I always joke around and say Shao Tucker because everyone hates Shao Tucker so much. But I really enjoyed voicing Shao Tucker. I'd say any voice that is really harsh, really screamy characters who are yelling and screaming a lot. Well, except Pilaf because he yells and screams a lot, but I enjoy doing him.
He's over the top.
He's always over the top. He is completely over the top. Yeah, no, I enjoy voicing all the characters. You know, there's some shows that are less awesome than other shows. I mean, we all have our preferences. So there's some shows where I'm like, you know, I'm not necessarily a fan service guy. So any of the fan service shows, I'm kind of like, meh, you know.
Yeah, I don't like fan service shows either that much. I've never really been a fan of like those. I guess they're panty shows is what I call them.
Yeah. I generally don't do them, but you know, sometimes you're up there and a director's like, "Would you do these 6 lines for me?" And you're like, "Yeah, sure." You know, because they're trying to reach a deadline and
yeah, they're just trying to get.
But he says, yeah.
I do have a few more. How did you get into voice acting?
Well, I was an actor back in Chicago. I went to the theater school, Goodman School of Drama at DePaul University, and worked on the stages in Chicago and TV film up there, and then moved to Texas, where I started a theater company. My buddy Brad Jackson, who was part of our theater company, came into rehearsals one day, and he was like, "Hey, you should go audition for this Dragon Balls thing." And I was like, well, okay, I'll go audition. I auditioned, and I may be exaggerating. I should preface it with that, but like my recollection of the audition was that I auditioned for Garlic Jr. and then immediately went into the recording session because Sabat was on a deadline. He was like, "Oh yeah, man, that's great. That was really good. Do you have time right now to record it?" And I was like, "What? This isn't real. Nobody auditions you and then asks you to record right after auditioning." But things were pretty loose back in the day at Funimation. Very loose.
Yeah, I remember the extra ad-lib lines that would be in the show that the Japanese script didn't have any knowledge of anyone saying.
Yeah, like, we used to try to throw all sorts of stuff in there.
I think I think some of my favorites are some of Sabat's lines is like, "Cat loves food, yeah."
Yeah, we weren't treating it as the, you know, hallowed source material that it is now. When we started, it was like, we're doing goofy. It is now. When we started, it was like, we're doing goofy voices on a drawn thing. You know, we weren't really, we didn't understand what we were dealing with in the beginning. So we were just trying to have fun.
I noticed there was a huge change when Yu Yu Hakusho was being dubbed, though. I mean, it seems like you guys took it really seriously.
Yeah, by the time we got to Yu Yu Hakusho, it was like, oh, wait a minute. This isn't for our buddies back at the dorm room. This is apparently for the whole world. And then the production, control parameters got a little tighter. Things got a little bit more regimented. It wasn't, you know, there were actual auditions and not just, we had actual auditions before, but there was a lot of past, just like, here, you do this role, you do this one, you do this one. And then they started to, because there were outside people trying to get in who were like, I want to audition for it too. So it started to become a little bit more, regimented.
Yeah, I noticed that. I mean, I actually have the whole series. In fact, you signed my season 3 set for me a couple years ago.
Oh, well, that's awesome. Where did we meet? Where was it? Remind me.
I sent it to you.
Oh, you mailed it to me?
Yeah, I mailed it to you. I was like, could I I remember asking him, like, could you sign like a bunch of DVDs for me? And you're like, okay. And I'm like, you even wrote Trucker Hat on my Super Android 13.
Look at my trucker hat.
Trucker Hat.
Yeah, that guy was a lot of fun to voice for sure.
Oh, yeah. I noticed you gave him kind of like an Arkansas voice.
That is, yeah, I was, yeah, that's precisely what I was doing.
That's where I'm from. So.
Oh, are you from Arkansas?
You can't tell?
No, not really. I don't pay attention too much. I don't hear dialects.
Oh, okay.
Just teasing.
I was always like the bully kid in school because I would like take my Dragon Ball Z artwork and I would just draw in school or read the manga in school, you know?
Yeah, back when it wasn't cool and now it's cool.
Now it's everywhere. I was like teenager 06 and whatever. It's like, you know, that stuff's porn. You know, you'd have so many people say that stuff's like pornographic stuff. And I'm like, no, that is violence. Like, that's what I'm after.
Yeah, some of it is. Not this, though.
No.
That's like saying movies are pornographic. It's like, well, yeah, some of them are, but
yeah,
you just have to pick the right ones.
About anything with Ron Jeremy is, but, you know, we don't talk about that.
I don't understand that reference, but I'll pretend like I do.
Ron Jeremy's a porn actor.
Oh, is he? Oh, okay.
The big Italian guy. Anyway, do you have a favorite line from maybe Hiei?
Dragon of the Darkness Flame. When he busts out that Dragon of the Darkness Flame, that is some pretty righteous action right there.
Oh yeah, I love when he used it against Bui.
Yep. Wait.
Which I think that the chemistry between Bui and Hiei was really awesome.
I don't recall the chemistry. I don't recall it.
Bui was more, I think Broly's voice actor did his voice, and he was the big dude, and you could tell that he just wanted to defeat Hiei really badly so he could get after Taro. And I just like at the very end of it, he says just to kill me off, and Hiei's like, I don't take orders from anyone.
Oh, I do remember this. Okay, I do remember that. It's so funny because we've recorded so much over the years. I mean, so many different shows and so many different episodes that sometimes it's like you can just hear a little bit of dialogue and it'll bring the scene sort of back to your brain.
Yeah, I've got like tons of DBZ and Yu Yu Hakusho DVDs just on my shelf, just sitting around.
Right. I
do wonder, do you have any idea about the Dragon Box sets, if they will ever make a comeback?
No, I have no idea about that sort of things. I always find out those bits of information from the fans. So you guys usually know before I do.
I wish I knew. Well, see, I bought the fifth Dragon Box set in 2011 after I graduated, and I was like, because I was buying the orange sets. And when I put those in, I was like, oh my God, these are amazing. I said, the screen's not cropped.
Oh, really? It was a remastered? Are they remastered versions?
Well, actually, it's the original Japanese footage. And they left the grain in and they didn't crop the screen.
All right. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of a DVD nut when it comes to that stuff.
I kind of miss DVDs. Streaming is nice, but you know what I miss about DVDs is the whole like menu screen and the little sort of rolling intro and the like animation where they put the sort of the menu screen together.
Well, I still have my DVDs, so I still use DVDs. I'm old school.
We do too. We have streaming and DVDs, but Jessica has she's even got a giant. My wife has a giant VHS collection too. So we still rock the VHS. You want to see some funny beginnings, like weird previews, like you pop in the old Back to the Future VHS and like the previews for I forget what the movies are, but they're really funny. They're really funny because the previews were done so differently back in the 80s.
80s and 90s had the cheesiest previews.
Yeah, super cheese. They're a lot of fun.
But it was good cheese.
Yeah, for sure.
often wondered, who are your top 5 favorite characters that you voice?
Top 5, that's pretty easy. So it's got to be Hiei, it's got to be Android 17, got to be Emperor Pilaf, got to be Dr. Stein. Whew. That fifth one, there's like, because it could be Hiro Nahara from Shin-Chan. It could be Austria from Hetalia. It could be, I don't know. There's so many who could go in that. Let me just give you the top 4. Those are definitely my top 4. That's good to know that I have sort of 4 major ones. Maybe I'll put Kurogiri in there since it's a popular show. But he's not really that fun of a character. He's sort of boring so far.
Did your wife do the illustrations on your prints?
Oh, yeah. Most of my wife does some of them. One of them was done by another artist friend of hers, and 2 others were done by a fan who was an artist who was a fan. And then one of them was sort of a composite that a convention made for me, but they made me like 2,000 of them. So I have those. They were like, here, you can keep these. I was like, thanks. I will make sure other fans get them.
They look awesome. That's all I'm going to say.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
My favorite one is the Hiei one that you have.
I like the Hiei one too. It's pretty awesome.
Did you have any good experiences working on like Star Trek Continues? I have.
Oh yeah, Star Trek Continues it's funny that as anime was becoming huge, I then got to sort of sidestep into another genre that has just as rabid a fan base as anime, which is the Star Trek fan base, and then to have that fan base accept me as Dr. McCoy was something I was not expecting. I was not expecting to be in Dublin, Ireland at an anime convention and to have Star Trek fans who are like, oh, we don't watch anime. We're just here to talk to you about Dr. McCoy. And then, to have people in Ireland wanting me to sign their original Star Trek merch. And I'm like, I'm just Chuck Huber. I'm not. And they're like, no, you're Dr. McCoy. Sign it. So that was a privilege and an honor to work on that show. And then we all had fun. We had so much fun. It was like we'd film 2 weeks a year and shoot like 2 episodes in 2 weeks, and sometimes 10 days, and that depended on your script load, how much you were in the script. But it was like a summer. It was like a camp and good restaurants, a couple of good restaurants, Kingsland, Georgia, and there was an Applebee's right by where we all stayed, and these sort of like. They weren't terrible motels, but it's no 5-star accommodations. You're still just mostly getting food from the vending machine. There was like an Applebee's, and we'd all go over there for drinks after a long day of shooting. And, you just become family after. I mean, we did that for almost 6 years, 7 years, something like that. We worked a long time together.
I personally thought that the cast was all perfect, in my opinion.
It was a great cast. It was a great cast.
Oh yeah, I've kind of rewatched the series quite a bit.
I need to rewatch it. I'm waiting. You know what I'm waiting for? Because your children they're always a little bit too close to kind of respect what you do as an adult. So I'm waiting for grandchildren. I think my grandchildren are really going to enjoy my anime career and really going to enjoy my Star Trek Continues. So I'm looking forward to being an old man in a rocking chair, rewatching all of Star Trek, into Star Trek Continues, into the movies with some 11-year-old lad who's my, grandson, be like, we're going to watch this, and, make him sit there. And he'll be like, he'll start off with like, Dad, it's not even holographic, or Grandpa, it's not even holographic. And I'll be like, when I was a kid, we used to watch 2-dimensional television. It'll be fun. He'll be like, you can't even smell them. And I'll be like, whatever.
I'm just waiting for my son to get older so he could watch the stuff that I watch with me.
How old's your son?
He's 5 right now.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What a ball of trouble that is right there. 5-year-old boys.
Oh,
They're
he's a
getting
great
you down. Oh,
love
I'm
him.
sure. I'm sure. I'm sure. What's his name?
Gabriel.
Gabriel. I have a Gabriel.
You do. Now that
Yeah.
is well, you'll laugh when you find out what I named him after.
What'd you name him after?
Have you ever seen the Christopher Walken movie The Prophecy?
Yes.
I named him after that character.
Well, essentially, we named him after the same person because that's the angel Gabriel. So I named it. That's where the Gabriels are named after the same people. Mine, just not the movie version.
Well, yeah, because that version kind of went evil.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Did you have any fun experiences like doing the video game voices in DBZ?
Those are fun. They're an ongoing gig, which is nice. They because there's always updates and DLC, which is a new sort of fun thing. So I've been recording on DBZ video games for almost as long as I've been recording on DBZ. So, we're going on 15 years of video game recordings, and they're fun. They're not as fun as the show. They're a little bit more technical. You're worrying about reactions and fight reactions and the length of time. It's all right. It's good recording, but it's the recording the shows is a little more fun.
What was maybe the worst show you've had to record on?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, I hate to say any show because it's going to be somebody's favorite show. You know what I mean? They'll be like, Chuck Huber hates blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, I don't hate it.
What I mean by that is, like, what was the most strenuous on your voice and painful to record? Not by, like, you just didn't like the character. What was the most painful on your voice?
I don't know. Curiously enough, when I was whispering as Shao Tucker, that tends to be very difficult on the voice. People think whispering is easier on your voice, but it's actually harder.
Oh, yeah, in the 03 version, I remember.
Yeah, old school Shao Tucker. Old school Shao Tucker.
Well, luckily, at least Brotherhood 1 died early.
Yeah, I got to check out early on that one.
Personally, I like Shao Tucker, and I really like just putting the memes on my Twitter about Shao Tucker just to get the fan people mad about it.
People do have strong reactions about it, that's for sure.
I remember I had a friend, and she was just like obsessed with Full Metal Alchemist. As soon as I started posting Shao Tucker memes, she was like, "You're evil. You're the devil." And I posted.
That's right.
I posted one on your page, and she seen you liked it. She goes, "You're both the devil."
Yeah, people that for whatever reason, that portion of that show just, I think it's because it was so unexpected and it was so harsh. You know what I mean? And it did something kind of worse than death. Because death, you get to imagine them. This was like a placement in a living hell. So you took a beloved character and placed her in a living hell and then made her sad about it and then had her express that sadness.
Yeah.
That's harsh for people to deal with.
I would say she was feeling a bit rough, if you catch my
kaboom! Oh, boom, boom. Yes.
Yeah, couldn't resist that one.
She was feeling rough.
My favorite meme on there is like where you see Nina and the dog doing the fusion dance.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Oh god. There were people,
and it is fun. You have on HBO, there's the sort of a late night show called Deezus and Mero, and they did the little fusion thing, and I was like, that's from DBZ. And so like the fusion thing, football players, I've seen football players do it. Like suddenly DBZ stuff is like it's mainstream. Everybody's doing it.
Oh yeah, well DBZ became like a big phenomenon. I mean, especially after the first dub.
Yeah.
Which version of DBZ did you like better? Was it the original dub that you guys worked on, or was it Kai?
The original Kai. Yeah, to be honest, I didn't even. I checked out parts of Kai, but I never watched it because I'd already seen the original, and I was like, well, I don't need. I kind of saw what changed as I was recording, and I didn't really. So I guess rightly so. I can't really make a judgment on it, but my guess is that the original is more interesting if. Because Kai, we definitely they battened down the hatches and cut off all the, tried to trim out any of the stupidness we put in the original series. And I think that's kind of what makes it fun.
Yeah, I thought the original dub was just fun because of the improv lines and everything like that. I mean, I think one of my favorite performances is Linda Young's as Frieza when she is just cracking her jokes like you could use it as a back scratcher.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Chris Ayers, don't get me wrong, he is fantastic, but I was just so used to Linda, it felt awkward not hearing her.
Yeah, it is always different when the voices change. They change. Yeah, but Bugs Bunny will always and only be Mel Blanc for me, for sure.
It was kind of like, well, I didn't notice the change when I was younger. When Dragon Ball Z was first dubbed by the Ocean Dub cast, the only change I really noticed was Brian Drummond's and Chris Sabat.
Right. Yeah, they definitely have different voices.
Yeah, I kind of preferred Brian's at the time because he sounded more evil.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Chris's voice does have a little bit more kindness in it.
Well, unless he's voicing Kuwabara.
Then it's just pure stupidity.
I love Kuwabara and Hiei's rivalry. What are your thoughts?
That's a fun rivalry. That's one of those that makes it so satisfying in the series whenever they help each other out, like in a fight. A fun rivalry. That's one of those that makes it so satisfying in the series whenever they help each other out, like in a fight. That's a trope is where we're terrible rivals, off the battlefield. But once they're on the battlefield fighting a common enemy, it's always fun to see them work together.
How does it feel to know that you've actually inspired so many people like me and made their childhood? How do you feel when people say you've made my childhood awesome or something?
I don't, it's a great honor and I enjoy it very much. And I enjoy it's a responsibility as well, because suddenly, especially if you're going to if you're not ready to deal with the importance of the moment for the fan, then you don't have to go to conventions. But if you're going to go to a convention as a guest, you have to be cognizant that you were important. Your voice was important. So your attitude, your preparation, your attention, your focus, all that stuff becomes, the craft that we implement when we're working at conventions. So the fact that my voice gets to be a part of so many kids' childhoods is just, honestly, it's just kind of astounding. I don't even think I comprehend it fully.
I was one of those kids.
Well, it's good to meet you.
I tuned in about every day on Toonami, and it was like, oh, it's 4:30. I've got to go. I've got to tune in.
That you could kind of feel that. You could kind of feel there was an after school thing happening, especially with Yu Yu Hakusho. It became like the after school until they switched it to the super late night.
I think it was on Adult Swim first, and then it went to Toonami.
Is that what it was? Yeah, I couldn't remember which direction it went.
I remember how awesome it was when I first watched it on Adult Swim. I was like, holy crap, there's cussing in here.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm only 11.
They're saying, damn it.
I love yours, Justin's, and John's portrayal in the series the best.
They're fun. They're definitely fun.
Cynthia's great, too.
Yeah, Cynthia's fantastic. I like that lady.
Oh yeah, she's always a fun treat to be around. To talk with. I talk with her every once in a while on Facebook.
Yeah, she's fun. It is fun having grown up, because we were all young. Nobody was married. I was the only one with kids, as I recall. When it all started. but like, and now we're all older. You know, it's like to have this family that you worked with for that long is always a treat as an artist.
Do you have any particularly strong friendships with anybody from the voice acting pool?
No, they're all good colleagues, and we all get to hang out at the conventions. But my good friends are mostly from my theater days and from my college. You know, I have 7 children between Jess and I, so we're busy at home. And other than that, you know what's funny is a lot of the voice actors became like really tight with each other. But when I started, I already had 2 young children. 2 young children? Yeah, 2 young children. 3 young children. Holy crap. So I never got to really hang out with the crowd as they were all growing up together. I was always at home with the kids. So, but they're all good colleagues for sure.
Oh yeah, they seem like really fun people, especially on Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the voice actor I'm the closest with, you know, besides you, obviously, is right. I can't remember what I was going to say. He's a LA talent, Richard Epcar. He and I got pretty good friendship going when I started out on Facebook when I was doing my editing for photos and stuff.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I like Richard.
I think everybody does. He just seems like a gentle giant guy.
Yeah.
Do you have any particular favorite Android 17 scenes?
From Super, it's when he saves the day and he says, "Look at me being all human," and then of course he comes back. But you know, that sort of sacrifice play is always super cool. From DBZ, I'd say his appearance was pretty awesome. You know, just that menacing sort of like as the androids came in, it was like, whoa, who are these guys? Like, this is going to be different and awesome, and it was.
Yeah, you guys killed Dr. Giro in about 5 seconds. So
I know. It got pretty violent pretty quick.
Then there was I like the from the history of Trunks, Android 17.
Yeah.
Like the original people that worked on Toriyama's staff said that 17 and 18 wouldn't make good main villains, but I thought they were fantastic in History of Trunks.
Yeah, I thought they were too. That's a fun arc for sure.
I was always wondering who came up with the music in the movie dubs, like Lord Slug and Cooler's Revenge, History of Trunks, and Bardock.
Yeah, I don't know much other than my portion contributing my voice. I'm not up to speed on any of the other production elements.
See, I watch those dubs just for the music.
Oh, do you? Yeah, a lot of, you know, it's a lot of different artistic talents going into one sort of focused area, which always most of the time produces good work.
I think they made a lot of DVD sales and VHS sales. I had all the VHSs of every one of the movies. So,
right.
So yeah, I was a big fan.
I'm a small air conditioner. I'm actually out of time, so I gotta go. One last question, if you got it. Otherwise, I'll bid your viewers adieu.
All right. See if I.
You don't have to. You don't have to. You know, you can just say goodbye.
No, I got one.
All right.
Somewhere. Now that I'm on the spot, I can't think about it.
Right. Favorite color? Green. Okay, there you go.
Okay. No, purple's better. All right. Thanks for coming on and
absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Tim, have me on, twice a year, 4 times a year, whatever. I'll always come back.
And I'll remember when I get to the 1 million subscribers, I'll be looking
for 10% comes to me.
All right. You have a good one.
All right. Take care.
You too.